Perfect. So welcome everybody. I'm Tiffany, and this class is part of our psychic development program. You can jump in these psychic development series at any time. So if you have no experience, not a problem. If you have tons of experience, that's awesome. You probably have something to contribute. We can all learn from each other. But tonight you're here because we are talking about spirit guides. And this is one of the most popular topics we get asked about. And so if you're here live, we're going to do some exercises together. And you'll be able to ask me questions. I'll be able to feel in and get some answers for you too. And if you're watching later, no problem. You can still do the exercises on your own. And hello to all of our overseas people that watch later. I love you guys. And let's just get started. I'm going to share my screen and open up this slideshow. I officially have too many tabs open. That's my teacher, Lisa. So here we are, the beginning of spirit guides. Perfect. And what we're going to go over tonight are some myths and fears around what they are and what they aren't. I'm going to teach about the hierarchy of spirit according to my lineage and the tradition that I follow. We're going to spend some time on master guides and why to connect and how to connect. And we are going to do an exercise to help us find a question. Okay, and so finding a question can be as important as connecting with your spirit guides, because if you're just going and feeling and you're going fishing, there might not be any fish in that pond. So we want to make sure that you have your lure set up, and that's part of that has to do with finding the right question. We're going to practice together, and we're also going to have a little bit of time for some reflection and resources and talk about what's next in your development. And I have a preview for you for what's next in your development. So we had a bunch of new members. And so I just wanted to say, if you're watching this later and I'm new to you, thank you for being here. I'm the head teacher and curriculum management overseer of all of the content at Wise Skies. I welcome your feedback. Like I said, Spirit Guides is one of our biggest, most asked questions. I have another sister company called Spellbound Publishers. Dee, who is on the call with us tonight, is one of my authors, and she's actually started her own publishing company. So if you want to be a publisher, we can talk about that too. I am a psychic medium and astrologer, and this is where I keep my honeybees in my gardens out here at my dad's. I manage 5 colonies, and it's the perfect time of year, and we're definitely going to have a honey crop this year, so that's super exciting. Most of the content about spirit guides that I have upgraded since the last time I taught is because of my teacher, Lisa Williams. And so a lot of you guys know that Lisa takes 10 teachers. It's an invite-only program, and she takes 10 teachers every year that she teaches her material to go out and spread around the world. And so I just want to make sure that I give her proper credit. If you've seen me teach spirit guides before and this is different, she's why. And she's really cool. And so you can check her school out as well. Okay. So one of the things that Lisa teaches is to give a message from spirit. I'm going to mute you guys because I can hear too much. And I know that the replay is going to sound loud too. So if I can, hi, Shelly and Jenna and Debbie and everybody I didn't see in the beginning. I love you guys. So this is the message from spirit. When I was developing this class, I sat with spirit. This is what I heard. This is for you specifically. This is not something I made up and wrote somewhere else along the way. And so if you just want to, you can take a screenshot if you want. I'm going to send you the slides. Don't worry if you're a note taker. But if you just want to close your eyes, and start to settle into the energy of the evening here, I'm going to read it to you. It says, "You're here at the perfect time. Many of you have wanted to try your connection before now, but before now was not the time. Take comfort that everything you have been going through is what has prepared you for your ability to make this connection. Now is the time to make your connection with us, but you must trust, you must believe, and you must practice. Connection to us requires your commitment, time, and attention on something greater than your personal desires. We are here for something greater than shallow problems, material decisions about love and money. We are here to help you see your spiritual decisions. We are here to support you on your spiritual evolution at all times. You are our purpose. Your desire to connect to us fulfills our mission. We love you and are grateful for you. Will you trust our connection? Will you love yourself? We are your spirit guides. We are here to help you develop yourself as a spiritual being. Now is the time. Okay. So you can flutter your eyes open. It made me cry a little bit. Were you touched? It's for you. It's really for you. Like, I sat in meditation for you guys. And so this is a beautiful message from Spirit. This is what your guides came together, everybody watching tonight, to hear this message. So I feel pretty good that you've got a good team behind you. So how many guides do we have? Lisa teaches that we have between 3 and 6 guides, and that we all have one master guide, and that their purpose is to help us, right? The master guide is the one that helps us all the way along, right? They're with us all the way from start to finish. This is different than a guardian angel. I have some colleagues that have guides that come in the form of nature. I have one who has a master guide that is a tree, right? I have one that has a master guide that we get so excited about, like the ethnicity and the names and the is male or female. We get so excited about this, but they're more than what we can describe. They're this soul energy. They can be your ancestors and loved ones. And psychics, mediums, and healers do have access to additional guides. These are guides that are like gatekeepers that help open and close the door and allow certain spirits to come through. These are extra healers, so there are healers in the form of guides, and they can't do their work without a channel to work through, right? And the same thing with spiritual teachers. There are spiritual teachers in spirit that need somebody to work through. And so it ends up being a collaboration. So if this is your path, psychic and healer, and you have another set of guides that are going to be working with you and through you. Our spirit guides, they've been here our whole life. Sometimes we've had imaginary friends, or we were just talking to, I don't know, I was always really connected to nature when I was little. And I do feel like our spirit guides can come through in different forms at different times. They are, the reason that we feel like we can't access them is because they're already vibrating at our same level. They are us. It's the same frequency. We're all, you and your spirit guide are on the same radio station. So you feel like, oh, they're not there, but they're there. And so you have to change your station a little bit in order to feel them. Does that make sense, everybody? Okay, that's the trick. That's the pro tip. That's the main headline. That's how you do it. You change your frequency a little bit in order to feel them differently. So I think I've said that in what this slide has to say. So basically, yeah, we have to vibrate on a different level so we can learn to pick up their messages differently. Our guides, again, what the ego wants to know is it male or female? Are they old or young? Where are they from? The first person that I worked with on my guides personally had a couple of things to say, and I latched onto it. I latched onto the origin. I latched onto the area where they were from. And what's been very interesting to me is I've always believed that no one could tell me my guide's name. I thought that it was crazy talk to think that like a psychic could tell me my guides' names. And so I still like to teach that. I still like to say, don't go outside yourself looking for a name to attach onto. Now, if you want to make up a name, that's okay. It's like giving them a nickname. They don't care what you call them, right? So when I had my first reading from a friend, right, she was giving me some background, like where they were from, and she said, I'm just not getting a name. It's almost like they don't want to give you a name, to give me a name. And I said, well, that's good, because I wouldn't have believed a freaking word you said had you given me a name. You know what I mean? And so therefore it became more real for me. And I was more open to what she had to say, because it was reflecting how I really deeply believed. You don't need their name in order to connect with them. So don't worry if you don't have one. And if you want to make one up because that's easier for you, you just want to start to remember their essence. You know what your mom's bottle of perfume smells like, right? And when you smell that, you have a memory of her. You know what coffee brewing in the morning, I'm using smells, that's kind of a bad example, but you have that you have that vibe, and you know what you're going to get from that frequency, that vibration, that the coffee is coming in and it's going to wake you up and it's going to make you alert, and there's a feeling associated with it, and there's a feeling associated with your guide. And so you're going to know, when the wind blows in and the wind chimes blow in, that feeling of comfort. Okay. So what they are not, guides are not angels. We're not talking about angels in this class. They're not guardian angels. They are not your elders. I connected first with my elder before I was able to connect with my guides. That's just how I was open and closed personally, right? You might have a similar experience. You might be totally in line with all of your angels before you get to your spirit guides. You're going to see, as we start talking about the hierarchy of spirit, why like some of you might be picking up on that versus your guides, but they're not the angels. They're not the elders. They're not the ascended masters. They're not scary at all. If you have something that you're afraid of, that's not your guide. If you have a fear, if you feel control, if you feel limited, that's not the voice of your guide. They're not going to guide you in a way that is scary or limiting. They don't take over your body. They don't take away your free will. They don't drop you into a trance-like state where you're out of control. These are your best friends, and this is the feeling that you get when you really know that you're never alone. And when I say that, I mean that from a spiritual wellness place. We're definitely alone when we're going to the bathroom, when we're intimate, when we're doing all these other things. We have privacy in the physical plane, right? But when we're feeling the depth of our sorrows that we all feel, I'm not excluded, the depth of our anxiety, the depth of our fear. And when we really get down to the bottom of our fear, what we're really, really afraid of, right, is being alone and dying alone. And they are who are with us at our time of birth, at our time of sacred contracts throughout life, and at our time of passing. And so they do not feel scary. Fears. So I want to throw out some fears, because if we have fears around our guides, it's totally fine and normal, and it will absolutely block you from connecting. And so if we can make the subconscious conscious and acknowledge some of our fears, then it's going to be easier for us to make a real connection here tonight in this moment. And so if any of these are true for you, you can just write them in your journal. You don't have to tell me, you don't have to put it in the chat. But I have felt these things. I have felt not good enough. I have felt like I didn't know how. I have been scared that they're not going to come through for me. I have been scared that I'm not going to get the actual truth, and I don't want to make decisions unless it's the real truth. I have been uncomfortable because of religion and religious beliefs before. I have not trusted the process because I've been angry at God before. I've been afraid that I'll be alone and completely navigating by myself. And I've been afraid to connect to something that feels negative. So I wrote mine down because I know that some of you have some of these. Please tell me I'm not alone. You have at least one, right? One of these is going to make sense. And you have some that I haven't thought of. But I thought, it's important, if you are actually afraid of any of these things, to get it out of your system, speak it into the light, and work through it, right? You might not work through it in the next 20 minutes, but at least you're going to be aware, there is something I'm afraid of. And that fear is what will block you from connecting, to the truth of your guides. So one of the biggest fears is that we're going to connect with something or someone that feels negative. And the way that Lisa teaches this, I really like, because she says a negative mindset does create negativity. So you can connect with some negative stuff out there. It ain't your guide. It ain't your master guide. I don't teach you how to do that. But if you have a negative mindset, it's from things like the media. It's from things like watching all the stuff that we like to watch because we're metaphysical girls, right? Like we like to watch the true crime. We like to watch the things that, like, I don't know, do you ever watch like I Should Have Been Dead, like the animals gonna kill them stories? Like, I mean, I know I'm not alone, but we watch things that drive fear. And other things, like, have you ever had somebody tell you, don't do that, that's not of the Lord, or that's not of God, or you're going to go to hell if you do that, or you're not supposed to connect with things that aren't X, Y, or Z? That can really mess somebody up with their own connection to a God of their understanding. And so what do we do about that? We have to replace those negative thoughts with some positive affirmations. It really does work. Lynn McTaggart is your resource on intention work, on intentions and the power of 8, and all of her really high level research. Basically, you can read all of her books. It just says intentions work. Okay, I'll give you the shortcut. That's the bullet point. And they work in small groups of people, and they work best when we're holding hands, just like a prayer, just like a prayer group. Just hold hands, make connection, believe the same way, things will change, right? So these affirmations, the brain needs to hear 3 times to create a different neural pathway. So if you're like, screw this, I am definitely watching my true crime show, or I'm not caught up on Succession yet, and I need to get on episode whatever after this, go for it. I do the same thing, but also don't let that be the last thought in your head before you go to sleep. You know, really give yourself those affirmations. I'm here, I'm in my physical body, I love my body, these are my healthy boundaries, these are my edges, I'm grounded, I'm at peace, I'm going to sleep well. And those types of things are what will shift from positive to negative. And so, of course, we're going to clear our fears, and we're going to clear our mind and spirit before we connect. Lifestyle, meditation, intention. You guys that have listened to me teach for a long time, I mean, basically yoga is the solution for like everything. You know, it's the solution for everything. What it does is it's clearing our mind, you know, and it's through the breath work, right? So when you're meditating in the morning, it's for a different purpose than when you're meditating in the evening. Know yourself. Okay, so I had this point. So like herbalism and yoga, you do it so that you are prepared, right? For that which is coming. And so you don't know the armies and the fights and the wars that are ahead of you, but you're going to do your yoga every day so that when you face it, you are ready and to be in, you are in shape, you are in your spiritual fitness, you're in your physical fitness, and you're ready for whatever happens in front of you, right? Same thing with herbalism. It's not like drugs. It's not like you can just replace your Zoloft for a St. John's wort and carry on about your day. You need to be taking in the St. John's wort over time and over time and over time. It's going to have that cumulative effect in your body. Same thing with the yoga practice, same thing with the meditation practice. It's going to have that cumulative effect over time. So we were talking about all of these fears that can be things that block us from opening up to spirit and to spirit guides. And we were talking about shifting some of these negative things into positive things. And we were also talking about doing things that clear the mind. So the Kirtan Kriya, are you guys familiar with this one? I can only see a few of you on the thing. Okay, so Kirtan Kriya may be something you want to look up on the YouTube or Spotify or somewhere. The words are sa, ta, na, ma. There you go. Those are the words. And you do it with your hand mudras. So you're going to go thumb to finger, sa, ta, na, ma, over and over and over and over again. Sa, ta, na, ma. And so with the music, it does it kind of like loud at first, and then it does it as a whisper, right? And then it does no words, and you're just doing it in your mind. And then it comes back with the whisper, and then it comes back with the full voice, sa, ta, na, ma, sa, ta, na, ma. And it's a 30-minute program or exercise. I think there's shorter ones, but there is actual research that shows how it is helping reverse the effects of Alzheimer's. And so these are the types of things that will keep your mind clean, keep your spirit clean, and help you connect to your spirit guides, that will just wash you clean, right? So these are some of the things that I do. The other big thing that we want to talk about is just knowing what we are connecting to in the hierarchy of a spirit. And if you know what you're connecting to, that will help remove some of the fear around it, right? So let's see. This is taken from the Lisa Williams School. And so this is how she teaches. This is my lineage. This is how I teach too. This is where we are. You are here. This is where you are. All right. And so, sorry, you are here. And this is your higher self. And this is what you're aware of. Okay. So over here, like we talked about, spirit guides, they're not angels. They're not elementals. They're not magical elements. I think that they're part of nature. They're not light beings, right? These up here are your guides. Okay. And so you have to change your frequency at a different pace to connect with each of these different hierarchies of spirit. And so as we raise our vibration, spirit up here, right, is going to lower theirs, and we're going to bridge in the middle. Does that make sense to everybody? Okay. So when I'm just sitting here and you've heard me say, just expand your aura out, and you're like, how the fuck, it really, all you're doing is you're just visualizing these waves of energy. You have your skin boundary, but then you're going to go into your aura boundary, and you're just visualizing sending energy outside of the eggshell of your aura and making a connection. And so that's why we want to know what we're connecting to, because we don't want to just be out there holding hands with any old thing out there. Maybe some of you guys are. I know some of you, maybe some of you will connect with any old thing. So we talked about ascended, like what guides are not. And so I want to go into that a little bit to give you an understanding here. The ascended masters, right? These are, do you have the ascended master deck from Doreen Virtue? Okay, Krista does. Anybody else? We can't see everybody's face. Shelly, no? Okay, well, I need to gift you one. So that's a great deck if you're trying to learn them. I like it. I use them in my readings sometimes. The Ascended Masters are people that have actually walked this earth as a human, and they have gone on to evolve their soul, and they're not really fully transcending until they've helped everybody else, right? So the Ascended Masters down here, Jesus, Buddha, Mother Mary, but they're of different origins, and so you don't have to be offended. You know what I mean? They're of all walks of life. Kuan Yin, Guinevere, Lakshmi, all of these, Yogananda, my fave, right? And so these ascended masters, what their purpose is to get to their highest potential, and in so doing raises the vibration and the frequency for you to be able to access that as well. But these ascended masters aren't your guide. So if you shut your eyes tonight after meditation and you come back and you say, Tiffany, Kuthumi is my master guide, I'm going to know that you haven't listened to a freaking word I've said, right? No, there are people out there that do think that are absolutely nuts, and really do believe that. There's no harm in letting them believe that. I'm not going to go out and correct them, but I know that there's something that they might be willing to, that they might access later if they keep their practice going, right? So I feel like they're kind of baby beginners if they're saying like, Jesus is my ascended master. Merlin is no, right? They're ascended masters. They're here for everybody. We can all access all of them. It's not special for you. It's special for everybody, the tribe of humanity. The angels, similarly, I have some people, it's easier for them to connect with angels because it's such a high frequency and they can just jump into that higher frequency, but still, angels not our guides. They do not look like the standard Hollywood angel. They appear in the way that you need them to, and in a way that you will recognize them. And there are many tiers of angels. There's the seraphim, there's the cherubim, there's throngs of angels, right? And then of course there's the archangels, Michael, Gabriel, Metatron, Azrael, Shamuel, right? The Shamuel is the one you need if you need a lover or if you lost your keys, and that's the one that I remember the most. So Michael, of course, with his blue sword of protection, right? Like that's another one that I remember the most. But I tell you what, if you were so afraid that you need to call in the angels, like they have a very high powerful, strong frequency. And so don't hesitate to call in the angels and the ascended masters. Just know that they're different than your guides. The Council of Elders, these are different too. They're highly evolved spiritual teachers. They are kind of like the CEO. I have of all of your guides, right? So when I had my first guide reading by somebody in our community, she said, you know, wow, you have an elder coming through at first. And she gave me this background story, and I did get a name. And then I started seeing that name everywhere. And I think I let it slip once, but I haven't shared that name because I want it to be special to me. And I want it to, I have it in my mind, and it's like, it's not like my little secret, but it kind of is. And so when I see it in interesting moments, I'm like, I feel really protected, really guided, really on path, you know. Wayne Dyer is like an elder, right? Like he's like one of those very special figures, special people. But my elder, what my elder feels like is very wise. And there's a calm energy. There's not this like joking around and kind of using some curse words. Like it's a more serious and educational tone to it. It's very sacred. And I had this one experience where I drove to somebody's football game who was very, very important to me. And this was the first time that I had been invited to go. And this is after like 19 years of wanting to go. And I got invited and I went, and I didn't make a connection. I just went and sat in the background. And on my way home at the first gas station in the middle of nowhere, y'all, it was like far northwest of Lubbock, Texas, which is very desolate, right? On the way home at a gas station out there, I see my guide's name. And I continue to see it at every single little stop I made on the way home, you know? And they will, this is the benefit of having a name and setting a name and creating a name that you make up, right? That the ego wants, that the ego needs to be satisfied so the mind can quit worrying about it, right? Just give it a name and let the mind off the hook. So your master guides, that's who we want to connect to tonight. And you have had many incarnations together. You know each other, you know their energy, you know what they feel like. You might have had the experience of being their mom or their brother or their lover or their sister. You have made a pact that you're going to help each other through this life and the next. And often you'll hear stories, if you stick around the mediumship world, that they flip. And so as you go into spirit, you'll be their master guide while they're down here on earth, right? And so there's this sacred contract between you all. You choose them and they have chosen you, and they have agreed to act as your teacher, and they're highly developed in all of the laws of spirituality. So they're like you. They're not like you. And I've already said all the rest of it. They're there for every part. So it's important to know why we want to connect with them, to open the pathway, right? So guides are the managers of the organization or the business of our life, and they're making sure that we're kind of on track, right? We have free will and we can go off of our soul contract anytime we want. And usually when we're off track, I don't believe in mistakes, but when we're off track, those are the moments when we start looking to psychics, healers, religion to help us get back on track, right? So these are the guides. They're here for us to like keep us on the path of our life that we want to be on, that we agreed to be on, right? So they're just helping us help ourselves in a way. Different guides help with different aspects of life. And you might find that your guide is like really great at work stuff, or you might find that you have a couple of guides that are really great with relationship stuff, but they're kind of silent when you go to talking about things of the material world. But overall, again, like the message was from the beginning, right? The message that they gave you from the beginning is to know that they don't really care about these little mundane decisions that we have. The mundane decisions that we have are here to help propel us in our spiritual growth and our spiritual life. So we want to get to the bottom of our real questions of why we really want to connect with guides. It's not because we think we should change jobs, or we're in the wrong relationship, or we want to move and we're not sure where. We think that, but there's something deeper going on. And so how to connect with spirit guides. Spirit comes in on my right side. I feel it coming in on my right side. This may be different for you. I feel chill bumps when spirit comes in. Lisa, one of my teachers, gets a runny nose for spirit. You might have, she says, sneeze on the truth. You might find yourself sneezing or yawning or having a physical reaction. That's great. Just get to know yourself. Some of my colleagues feel like warmth in their knees. Sometimes I sweat. Sometimes I get really hot personally. And so it's like, does she have the flu? She's hot and has chill bumps. Like, what's wrong with her? But how we're going to connect, right? So we're going to calm our energy down. And just like we talked about earlier, we're going to search this area of our body. You can search both ways. So maybe you're searching just by visualizing streams of energy going out, right? And as you're raising your frequency out, you're going to just invite them in. And some people will feel that light tingle. And when you feel that light tingle, that's great. It might go away immediately. It's because you're familiar with it. Don't freak out if it goes away immediately. Just let the tingle to come all over. Let the goosebumps, I almost said ghost bumps. Let the goosebumps wash all over you. Let whatever's happening, the heat, let it flush through, right? And then once you're connecting, you've got to trust it. You've got to believe in it. That's the key there, because once you are in that connection, in that flow state, if you don't trust the energy, that you have invited in, their guidance isn't going to matter. Think about that. Like, have you ever sat for a psychic reading and the psychic just comes out with some advice without giving you any validation at all? You're not really going to believe anything they have to say. And so if you don't believe that you've actually made a connection, you're not open to hear advice or guidance anyway. So you might as well just go for it and trust that a connection has been made. And then the heat is often evidence of a healing guide. So just know that if you're feeling hot, like I do, that you probably need some healing and that they're just there with you. So be mindful of your direction in meditation. So meditations will either lead you, like they won't either. Meditations can raise or lower your frequency, right? And so if you're raising your frequency, that's good. That's what we want to do. And what we don't want to do is walk down the beautiful staircase and go grounded and get sleepy and get lower. That we're not able to connect from the sleepy, low place. Like, we're done. We have to be up to connect. And so be mindful if you're practicing this on your own and the meditation is taking you on a journey of relaxation down, probably not going to have a lot of connection going on there. So we want the energy to go from toes to head up and from heart out. And that's how we're going to connect. We're at the point where we want to find a question to ask spirit. And so what I want you to do, like actually really, really, really do, is write 3 things down that you are so proud of that you've accomplished in the last 6 months. 3 things that you just are like, I cannot even believe that I did that, right? And if you can't think of those 3 things, you can think of 2. And they might be small things. It might be that you got out of bed today. That's fine. It might be that you are graduating a kid from school. That's amazing. Might be that you got a book published. It might be that you went through some paperwork that you hated. It might be that you got your lawn mowed. I don't know. But a few things that you're so proud of that you just recently did. And then 1 thing that you'd like to accomplish in the next year, just a desire of the heart, something that you'd really like to do. If it's beekeeping, I got you. If it's publishing, I got you. If it's psychic work, I got you. Okay, so you got these 3 things that you did and 1 thing that you'd like to do. And now what I want you to do is find the theme. What is the theme between those 4 things? The things you did and the thing that you want to do, there's something in common. Might not be obvious at first, but there is a theme there. Might feel like a stretch, but it's not. If anybody wants to work through one live, we could do that. If anybody's like, what? Nah, you can chat me and I'll help. I'm just giving everybody another minute to figure out what their theme is. So your theme is not going to be something that is material and it's going to be something that's spiritual. So if your theme is like, I made $10, I made $100, I made $1,000. My goal is I want to make $1 million, right? Your theme is money, but how can you elevate this for spiritual development? So it's not just money, it's that I'm expanding, right, my reach, something like this. There's some spiritual thing in there. Sylvia and Krista, you're having too much fun over there. Okay, so hopefully you have some kind of a theme working out. And I want you to write an intention. We're going to do a connection meditation here. It's going to be short. It's going to be easy. You're going to connect with your guide. And your intention is something like this. It's easy and fun for me to connect with my master guide in a way that feels comfortable. So you've got an intention and you've got a question that has to do with this theme of your soul. It's not your theme because you just realized what you were proud of and what you wanted. So we're going to write an intention that we are going to make a connection. It's going to be easy and fun. And then we're going to write the thing about our question for our guides. Okay, so this is one of my favorite videos of all time. Have you seen it before? I've posted it in the Facebook group like a long time ago. So to vibrate differently, we need to laugh. We need to raise our vibration. We have to activate the happy chemicals, the endorphins, the dopamine, the oxytocin, the serotonin, all the things I studied in my master's in health psychology, right? And this guy, you don't have to know Spanish. In fact, do I have any fluent Spanish speakers? No, okay, because as far as I know, he's not saying anything dirty, but if he is, I want to know. So, so as we watch this, about 16 seconds into it, he's going to crack up. And if you're able, I want you to laugh with him because it's hysterical and it will raise your vibration. Can you hear it? Okay, thank you.
Ve por la paellera, venga, que las 2 de la tarde ya están aquí. Miren, bañador, en la chancla. Todo despeinado porque no me dio tiempo nada ponerme la chancla y el bañador. Voy a la playa, había subido la marea. Ya me agarra, entre metí entre las piedras de Chipiona, de Faro. Y cuando entro en el restaurante me ve, me espero con una paellera y a veces paellera.
Oh, you can't hear it? You guys can't hear it? Oh my God. Okay. Oh, you can hear it when I'm talking and laughing? Yeah, okay. Okay. Okay, I'll stop it since you can't hear it. Thank you, Karen, for letting me know. And Dee, that so here's the idea. You just want to find something that is funny, that makes you laugh, that you can do laughing yoga on TV. I love that guy because there's such an innocence, and that's how I laugh. When I'm cracking up with my best friends, it's like silent laugh. Like it's like you're just so cracked up about it. And so that is an easy way to get into connection. So, okay. Because we had a good group of people come in a little late, I'm going to get us the the message for you all tonight. I'm going to reread that while you close your eyes. I'm going to lead us through a little guided meditation. And we're going to open our awareness, and this is where we're going to connect. So let's begin to close our eyes. Start to relax the shoulders. Begin to just body scan, and anything that feels tight, just relax. You're slowing your breath down. There's nothing to do, nowhere to go. You're just here feeling your way into your body, into your soul. And as you're grounding down, here is the message from Spirit for you. You're here at the perfect time. Many of you have wanted to try your connection before now, but before now was not the time. Take comfort that everything you have been going through is what has prepared you for your ability to make this connection. Now is the time to make your connection with us. But you must trust, you must believe, you must practice. Connection to us requires your commitment, time, and attention on something greater than your personal desires. We are here for something greater than shallow problems and material decisions with love and money. We are here to help you see your spiritual decisions. We are here to support you on your spiritual evolution at all times. You are our purpose. Your desire to connect to us fulfills our mission. We love you and are grateful for you. Will you trust our connection? Will you love yourself? We are your spirit guides. We are here to help you develop yourself as a spiritual being. Now is the time. And so as you sit quietly in your own meditation with the rhythm of your own heart, just want you to visualize your heart energy as this white liquid light right in the center of your heart, the beautiful ball of white liquid light that's just glowing. And I want you to smile with your face. And I want you to remember something that feels just good, like a warm hug, the last laugh you had. It can be mischievous, it can be lighthearted, it can feel sweet. The easiest way for you to access a genuine smile, genuine laugh. Easiest way for me is my horse. Makes me smile. It's an easy one. And from this elevated place, I want you to visualize this white liquid light in your heart, expanding out three-dimensionally, just like the Grinch movie. And this white liquid light extends out past your auric field, past your skin, into space. Just begin to invite your spirit guides in. If you have a nickname, you can use it. If you don't, you can make one up or wait and listen for one. And ask them to draw near to you. Soften your energy. Relax. Notice any sensation in your body. Everything you're noticing is a message right now. Nothing is wasted. Now I'm really just asking and commanding down the master guide of all of the classes at Wise Skies that really rules, reigns, and directs over this practice to help people with their psychic development to really step forward and usher in every single person's master guide. If it is right for them, if it is in their best and highest good, I want you to usher them in now. Believing fully that a connection is being made. Smile again, welcome them in, your old friend that you've known for many lifetimes. What does this connection feel like? And although you have many guides and many support in spirit, our intention right now is to know the energy of your master guide. So I'm going to be right here with you, and you're going to just take a few moments to feel their energy, to feel it, what it feels like in your body, what it feels like emotionally. This is your time to ask them questions about your theme. You might notice that you hear 2 or 3 words, that you might feel a familiar presence. I'm right here with you throughout this process. How much are you willing to receive? How much of their love are you willing to receive? The mind has started to wander. You can focus on the white liquid light of your heart streaming out. The easiest way to connect with spirit is visualizing this light and breathing in and out. Thank you. I've just heard now that everyone has received a connection. Because we're vibrating high and it's in good energy, you can just ask them if they'd like to linger with you a little bit longer. You might feel their energy retracting as we finish out class. But I want you to just softly come back into your body, wiggle your fingers and toes. Feel very centered and grounded. Maybe take a yawn or a stretch, moving around if you want to, sip of water. And I want you to spend a second
Te llamo a que vayas a
going through a little moment of reflection. So look back. What was your intention? In these few moments, did you recognize any spirit and what role they might have played in your life? It's okay if the answer is no. Did you receive any action items? If so, what were they? Make sure you write them down in this moment. Spirit's words are usually brief. Some of you may be channelers and you may have received many words. Is there anything that you discovered or learned about yourself or your theme just by sitting with them? And checking in with yourself, how you felt before the meditation. And if you're feeling different afterwards. Just want to give a little space in case anybody wants to share what they got or what they didn't get. So if you'd like to unmute yourself, you can, because we're a small group.
I had a really big realization. It's really, sometimes you just don't know what the heck's right in front of you, you know? Years ago, I had a dream, walking upstairs, and I was going to follow this young man, tall, blonde, brown, aviator jacket. Says, no, don't worry, I will never let you fall. And that has always stuck with me.
Whoa.
And now I realize who the heck he is. Wait, there's more. I was recently doing some work with a friend, and we were looking for someone. And I was thinking about it before we started. And this other gentleman who was sitting down, dark hair, very young, was going, it's okay, it's okay, it's okay. And I kept saying that, it's okay. Mm-hmm. And he didn't really have anything to do with the work that we did. But it was another one of those very like, okay, well, it must be okay. And things were okay. But I think these are both guys, and I feel like they're my boys. I don't have any children. But so anyway, I did get a feeling sort of in the lower part of my torso of warmth. Mm-hmm. But as I realized that I've had one is very new, one has been around forever. Mm-hmm. I think that's what they are.
Man, I got full body chills. And so you can just take that as a sign that yes, as your spiritual leader tonight, that yes, that's validation. And you may not have children in this life, but you might have had them as children before. Mm-hmm. And so just like that smell of coffee, just like that soup that somebody in your family used to make, just like that warmth that you're feeling in your belly, you can recall that feeling and draw them near, you can recall that your specific way that you received was warmth in the belly. So you can have that memory, that neural pathway, and draw them near. And they might change through different seasons.
Yeah, for sure. But I was thinking, come on, boys, come to me, boys. It was like a maternal. I'm going to get all misty. Someone else's turn.
Well, and I also must point out, because I know you from many levels, I also must point out that your writing is directed towards boys, I'll say. And so in that way, I think that there's a real interesting connection going on for you. Yeah. So they might be helping you with your book.
I think somebody is, because I'm usually asleep while I'm writing. Did I say that?
Oh, I think that's beautiful. What was your theme?
My theme, so let's just pretend I'm 12. The theme was helping people, and it's a mixture. Like the things that I'm proud of, I finished a book, but that book carries this particular message that my everything does, and that's like, you got it up here, you got it, you can do it. Mm-hmm. I finished the distribution of my brother's estate, which was really difficult. I'm really proud about that. Mm-hmm. And I helped to find this young man.
Yes, you did.
And that was like so big. And then I'm looking at that, and the distribution, yes, there's money there, but it went to people that really needed it. There were a few people that just really, and I was so grateful to be a part of that. And so I said, helping people, and the intention was just how can I better serve? Everything I have is sort of arm's length away or whatever. I didn't get any messages because apparently I was having a family reunion. I don't.
That's fine. That's good. That's great. Okay. All right. Would anybody else like to share, because it helps us all learn?
I have a question.
Yeah.
When I was doing it, there was a lot of color,
Mm.
and color is always my thing. And I have a fuchsia door. My front door is fuchsia.
Mm.
And it was fuchsia and turquoise. And I always say turquoise is the color of my soul. And then they just kind of fused together. And it was like, when you asked them to stay, it just went like blinding fuchsia.
Wow.
And I could feel it in my head, but I was trying to like get an essence of, and it felt like my twin or something. It felt,
Oh, wow.
I'm very girly. I'm very feminine. I'm very I feel like the angelic world I relate with, but it just felt like I couldn't either separate myself out of it, or if it was a mirror of myself, or I don't know. It was.
I love that you feel like you got a twin. That's cool. Because that's what they are, they are twin energy in a way. I have, my friend just got here. Sorry. I'm going to share my experience last. So I think so what was your question? Did I miss the question in there?
Well, I've been working on an online course, and I'm a therapist, and I work with a lot of people. And it's like, I always feel like I know my goal is to, help the collective consciousness, but along the way, I lose myself and I feel burdened. So I don't feel free. And so I think the theme was kind of freedom.
Mm-hmm.
And when all the colors went together, I felt like it was giving me a message of kind of bring it all together. And I'm coming to the end of working on my online course. And so I think it's maybe just everything was like, it was almost all the colors just kind of spun together, and then fuchsia.
So I guess the metaphor that I'm hearing you say is to finish your online course, it's to bring it all together and then to radiate love, just to share that unconditional love. And so that's kind of the answer to your question, and you're already living it anyways. But just like Dee had that feeling of like warmth in the belly, all of you need to do right now to connect is just shut your eyes and paint everything pink.
Everything pink.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I felt it enter through my throat, because my throat chakra and I've always felt like that's kind of my weakness. And it just radiated through my heart. And then I had this feeling of feeling at home. And lately I've just been feeling kind of down, which is not my usual vibration. And so it was like, it reminded me that quit taking everything so fucking seriously. Sorry, everybody, but
no, yeah, it's totally fine. But yeah, that's what we need to hear sometimes.
A lot of times it comes to me in humor. And so it was beautiful, and it was feminine. And it was like really like almost felt like my ideal self, I guess. And then it was like, quit being so fucking hard on yourself or whatever.
And do you see how, like, if you thought that you had to connect with a person that has a background and a culture and a language and a name, you would have missed that whole experience.
I would have, because it just felt like essence. It didn't feel like a person.
Yeah, essence. So just go for the essence. That's what they are anyways.
Yeah.
They're an essence, our soul, my soul is an essence. Without this body, what am I? I'm Tiffany.
Right, essence.
Right. So I think that was a really good example.
I can share.
Great. Okay.
Since we unmuted.
Yeah.
Unmuted.
We're unmuted. So it started with heat for me. And my entire torso got really hot. And then it was a very strong, I think I made connection with three guys.
Good.
And yes, like the first one I feel like was the strongest one, and it came from my left. And it felt like needles. Like it was stronger than goosebumps, but it was just kind of like a poking me, but it was all the way here. And then the second one came and just kind of like tapped me on the back. And then the third one was probably the most gentle one. And it was right here on my right shoulders, but this is kind of how it evolved. And then I had a similar experience, but my colors were magenta and yellow.
Magenta.
Yeah.
I think that's my next thing.
Magenta and yellow. And then, but I had an interesting realization because, so just a little bit of background, Krista and I met 3 years ago, around 3 years ago. And I saw her actually as kind of just leading me and like introducing me to my spirit guides, which is kind of, yeah, well, this is the journey that we've been on. I feel like she always knows when I need a message and she sends the right message. Even with your course tonight.
That's what I'm saying, right? Like she did that. She showed you your spirit guide through this simple connection.
Yeah. And I think that we both, when you said think about a funny moment, like we both were picturing a moment when we were together and laughing because we laugh a lot. And that's when it was like Krista was introducing me, because everything started right after that thought of Krista is introducing me to my spirit guides, and then they showed up.
And I have chill bumps again, full body chill bumps, legs all the way to my toes. So I think that absolutely you guys have that karmic connection. What was also interesting is that the laughter helped you make the connection.
Right.
Yeah.
And you felt safe. And you
Yes.
might, without that funny thought or that smile with your face, if you got rubbed, like if you got some pokies or some ticklies or something on your back, we're so quick to say like there's paranormal activity here, like get out the sage, clean everything out. And instead it's like maybe there's just a connection. You invited it in, so they're not going to come without your invitation. You weren't scared at all during that process, without the safety of your intention and your genuine joy. That could have been a very different experience, right?
Right. So I meditate every morning a lot, and I didn't really know what these sensations meant, because now that I've taken the course and I have a little bit more of a background, I have these sensations pretty much every morning when I start my meditation. It starts with a heat and then so now I know what's happening.
Now you know what's happening. You're connecting with your guides. I don't have that every morning, so that's amazing. So maybe you need to come teach at Wise Skies. But when I do have it, it is, I usually like to, here's a little tip for you guys. When you feel that you're not going to feel it every day, you're just not, we're human. But when you do, when you get these little nuggets of these moments that people have shared tonight, and I know each of you have a special moment too, but the ones that have been shared, when you get that nugget, I want you to play a game with your guides and set a symbol up between you all. And I want you to change it sometimes. And I don't want it to be the cardinal, okay? And I don't want it to be the butterfly, and I don't want it to be the coin, because we all have that in our mind, and that's already a connection. I want you to wow yourself by creating a symbol with your guide that is unique and different, and set it up and set the intention, and then don't fixate on it. Don't expect it. Just go out and live your life. And when you see it in that moment that you need it the most, you'll feel in Dee's body, she'll feel that warmth in her belly. In Krista's body, she'll feel like this energetic paintbrush of pink, cherry pink, magenta, fuchsia, turquoise colors, right? In Sylvia's body, she's going to have some physical kindness going on, right? And in your experience, however you felt it. So my example of that, which you guys on here that are my friends have heard this story before, But I did this like last summer. This was right before I started a course I was taking, and I was like really skeptical about this course I was taking. Like, did I do the right thing? Like, ugh. And I sat down and I gave my spirit guide which I felt very strongly that morning. And I said, look, you got to give me an orange butterfly. And this is a huge cosmic joke because I am not an orange butterfly kind of girl, right? So I'm like, they're not going to give me that one. But I'm still paying attention, and I'm hoping that they're listening, and I'm hoping that I'm on the right track, but I'm okay if not. Well, no kidding. I went to breakfast by myself, opened up my Facebook while my vegan biscuits and gravy were coming out. And I'm scrolling my Facebook, and the first thing that I see are stones somebody has painted with orange butterflies. It's the first thing I saw right after my meditation. Did the meditation, drove to the vegan biscuit place, sat there. That's what happened. And so it's just like seeing my elder's name on the way home from a very difficult trip that I made alone, right? I was never alone. So if we don't ask for it, we're not going to see it out there. We have to set up our neural pathways. We have to set the connection. We have to believe the connection is real. That's it. That's really it. Here are some things going forward. Good job, past Tiffany. You already knew to talk about asking for signs from your guides. So, sure, all these things you see in every single journal everywhere, but the thing at the bottom, the premonition, if you feel like you're getting a premonition or some information, a lot of times a premonition would be like I have a friend that kind of is tuned into world climate events, right? That's a premonition. That's not something for her, but it's something that's out there. Write it on a note, right? Stick it on your wall, put it in your journal, write it in your computer, and wait for it to happen. And what you're going to do is you're going to start to build that neural pathway and that connection, and able to get into the rhythm and the frequency of being able to forecast future events. Not everybody wants to do that. It's not everybody's strength, but if you are curious on how that works, this is how you will strengthen that muscle and get better at it. I keep moving the Zoom people around so I can see the slide. If you're like, what is she doing? Okay, homework and resources. Easy thing to do is get a bunch of funny shit together and laugh at it, right? So memes, short videos, things that you think are hysterical. And this is also really a good mood lifter. If you're having a bad day, just go watch your funny file, and you cannot watch that video without cracking up. I can't watch that video without cracking. I also took a secret video of my friend that is hilarious, and I haven't shown her yet because anyways, it's so funny. She's singing and it's hilarious. And so I pull that up, right? I have a plan to show her, but I haven't yet. And so it's even funnier, right? So you have to have a sense of humor with this stuff because it's the easiest way to lift you up. Laughter yoga, there's a whole community of people that do laughter yoga on YouTube. It's free. Check it out. And you can also go to a comedy show and focus on the laughing. And so just notice what your vibration feels like before and after. And as you notice that, it's not like you don't know that you feel better when you're laughing. What I want you to do is fine tune, really pay attention to your energy after you're done laughing, because there's a lightness, and that's from that radio frequency can you tune into the guides. Everybody with me? That's really all there is to it. You are developing a relationship with them. You can set a morning date like Sylvia has done. If you're going to set a morning date, be punctual. They're listening. Don't be 8 o'clock is an 8:05. Be on time for your spirit guides. They're not messing around. Creating a ritual will help your mind. Okay. It's like if you're a writer and you got nothing to say, but you every morning from 9 to 10, that's your writing hour. You might have nothing to say for 6 weeks, but you are training your brain to get into the habit of writing from 9 to 10. And in the same way, you're developing a relationship with your spirit guide, you're training your brain to have a connection. If you have a boyfriend or girlfriend, you want to talk to them on the phone every day, right? You better be available, right? You better be available. You don't just want to call them when shit hits the fan. You don't want to just do yoga the day before you need to pick up the heavy weights. You don't want to just start taking St. John's wort the day before something tragic happens. You want these things in your system in order to be prepared for the life that's in front of you, right? So what's next? A couple things. I am teaching. So Lisa is my teacher, and she has this, like, it's not set up yet, so I can't give you the link, but I will give you the link. And I'm also going to give you a little preview because I'm really proud of the slides I made of the cycles of the soul in astrology. So there's that. There's also psychic catalyst circles that we're doing. I said transfer beginners. I was like off somewhere. Maggie is teaching color. So Krista, I would love for you to get Maggie's class, because Maggie she's a colleague, friend of mine, dear sweet soul. She lives in Malibu. She's a medium. She and I have taken from the same color theorists, and she's also an interior designer. So she has color down. And color in spiritualism is not chakras. It's not mainstream color. It's not whatever you think red means. It's a thing. And so I really want to encourage you to at least watch the replay if you're not available, but she's teaching that on June 15th, the soul colors. I went all over the place. There, you see what's next in what I'm teaching. Thank you for trusting me to lead you through that process. It's simple and fun, and you all made a connection. I'm going to show you my other slides, and then we're going to go, or if you need to go, that's fine too. This is what I'm going to do over at Lisa's school, and something that I may be able to do for Wise Skies too. We're going to do, I'm trying to get to the fun part here. The special ages of the soul. And so if you've made it through this life this far and you've wondered why everybody at age 2 has the terrible 2s, I have an explanation for you. If you've made it through your birthday every year, I have an explanation for you for every year that has this astrological influence. And so that is the next thing that I'm going to be talking about. My class is June 1st. It's part of a bigger ticket. And I'm not the only one teaching that. Some of my colleagues are teaching cacao ceremonies. They're teaching like some cool stuff. So I just wanted to throw it out there. I make nothing from that. So don't buy it thinking that you're supporting me. Buy it if it's interesting to you. And if not, I'll see you in the Wise Skies community. Any questions before we wrap up, guys? Oh, Shelly has your puppy. Oh, yeah, that's so sweet.
What's the puppy's name?
Coco.
This is Coco. She likes to sit on my lap. She's a people person. So she's happy being here.
Oh, Coco can be your spirit guide.
She is. She makes me laugh all the time.
That's perfect. Yes. Yeah. Animals help us connect easily, for sure. Okay. I'm seeing a chat. Sorry if I missed it. You need, oh, cinnamon. Yeah. You need the colors too. Absolutely. You can coordinate which scrubs you want to wear which day and what other things. So, does anybody, before we go, does anybody feel like they did not make a connection? They are not plugging in at all? Because this is a great chance to talk about it, and I'm happy to support you. Okay, and if you're too shy to talk about it, email me, we'll make a connection. You're not alone, you have a guide. I'm here to help you find it. I was going to tell you my quick story about my guides if you're interested. That one that I was talking about with the butterflies, it came to me as a bear, and you guys know my bear dream, right? I have a recurring bear dream, and it changed over time. And so I realized that the bear wasn't attacking me. The bear was giving me its heart, and I was running away from love. And there's all this recurring bear themes in my life, right? So Cinnamon's going to practice later since she was driving. Okay, cool. And so when I sat down for meditation, it was the wildest thing. It felt like a bear came in and comfortably, I wasn't afraid, and sat behind me. And it's like I Russian dolled myself into the bear, and I was the bear, and there was nothing to be afraid of. And in fact, I can understand, I could better understand why sometimes I walk into a room and people are like they're intimidated, right? And I'm just like, to me, I'm just like a country girl hanging out, right? Like I don't feel intimidating, but the truth is sometimes other people feel that like friction around me, that element of transformation, that something's going to change, right? And not everybody wants things to change. So when the lightning bolt walks in the room, it can feel very disconcerting. Well, when I had that bear costume on, I felt a different vibration, and I knew how to walk in with peace and power and strength, right? And I knew how to connect with this like Siberian creature in a way that I hadn't had the opportunity to before. This is not my elder, this is one of my guides. And then I felt two other ones, right? And I did feel a different culture. And I did I thought I got a name. And then I freaked out because what if that's not the name? What if that's the wrong name? And I'm like calling them something that ain't their name. And so then I was like, okay, it's a cool name. And I shortened it and I used the initials. It was a double name. And so I shortened it and I used the initials of it. And I was just like, hey, no disrespect, this is going to be my nickname for you. Does that work for you? Like I'm trying to have respect. And this one felt very Ecuadorian, very martial artist, very feminine, very beautiful. And so I invite her to my yoga practice all the time. And it helps me visualize, it helps me let go of expectations, and it helps like this guide, what it feels like, it's like almost like, I don't know if there's a scene, I'm kind of thinking of Toy Story, but it's almost like this martial artist just like does a bunch of flips and comes onto the scene. You know what I mean? Like this tiny little martial artist thing. That's what it feels like to me. And I just invite her in the yoga room. I invite her in my meditation mat, and I feel her fiercely protecting me. And I know that she's got this, so I can relax, right? And so those are two of my guides. And that's how I feel it. And I work with it. And I know that they're here for a season, and that this is the season that they're needed. And that's kind of the Tiffany crazy train. Awesome. Okay, guys, we've been a little over. I love you so much. I hope to see you soon. I'm gonna be on the road, and I'll be online for you if you need anything. I'll be watching the email. Good job tonight. Right? Amazing work you're doing. It honors me to be here, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.